Hi, thanks for joining me for Sitting in the Summer Sun. It's been a limited edition summer Bible study series. We've been looking and doing a little bit deeper dive into Joshua and the story of when the sun stands still. We've looked at Joshua 9 and 10 specifically. While we haven't done a verse-by-verse study of it, we've been looking at what is one of the most amazing passages of Scripture that very often gets ignored or not appreciated for all the things that are taking place there. And so this is the last episode in this limited series. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's been helpful to you. Hopefully you're not bored by it. If you're still watching, I'm going to assume you're going to write it out. Or maybe you came back for the answer to the question, why would Joshua ask for both the sun and the moon to stop? Because if all he needed was more daylight for battle, what do you need the moon for? That's an important question. And believe it or not, the real issue here isn't a desperate need for daylight. But what's really happening here is the need for a lesson in theology. And you say, what are you talking about? Well, the Canaanites worshiped many gods. Baal is the one that we know about, but has many variations, being the most common. Baal's name means master or lord, but his followers referred to him as the rider of the clouds. Statues show Baal with a lightning bolt in his hand, sometimes called Baal Hadad. He was the god of storms and the bringer of rain. Also included in their group of gods were Yara, the moon god, and Shemesh, the sun goddess. The events at Gibeon are a statement and proof that there's only one God and his name is Jehovah. Think about what we've been looking at. The hail demonstrated that God was superior to Baal Hadad. The sun's odd behavior showed preeminence over Yari. And the moon's sudden stop proved God's power over Shemesh. See, like the plagues of Egypt, God was making a point. False gods have no power, no influence, and no life of their own. They live only in the imaginations of the worshiper, and the worshiper has a better choice. The real battle that's taking place here is not about possession of ground. It's not about political allegiances. It's about the reality of God. And the hail and the moon and the sun are on display, sending a very clear message. In one event, in one battle, God has literally destroyed, controlled, elbowed, body slammed, jackhammered every god that these pagan people worshipped. And that's what Joshua was asking for when he asked for the sun and the moon to stop. See, Joshua was much more of a theologian than we give him credit for. We know he's a warrior, we know he's a leader. But he also knew who he was following, and he knew the God of creation, and he knew the enemy that he was fighting very, very well. And by asking that request for the sun to stop, it wasn't just about daylight, but the moon to stop as well. It was showing that the creator of all things controlled the sun and the moon. Can you imagine being these armies that are fighting the battle against Joshua's army and the army of God? Every god that they followed was now powerless and had been embarrassed because Joshua's God, Yahweh, Jehovah, had proven himself to be greater. How significant is this event? It's mentioned twice more in the Bible. In Isaiah 28:21, for the Lord will rise up at Mount Gerizim. He will be stirred up in the valley of Gibeon to do his task, his unusual task, and to work, his extraordinary work. Isaiah knew the unexpected God and his mysterious ways. And so he wasn't afraid to make reference to this battle in the valley of Gibeon. Habakkuk 3:1 says, sun and moon stood in their places, and they went away at the light of your arrows, at the radiance of your gleaming spear. See, God achieved much more that day, more than meets the eye. And instead of having to defeat these 5 city-states one by one, Joshua was able to conquer them all at one time. That's the great thing about God. He does more than we ask. He achieves more than we imagine. And he leaves a message for those who follow centuries after the event. So, did it really happen? Did the sun stop in mid-course? Did the moon hang motionless in the sky? Did God confuse the attacking armies and set them to flight and to destroy them by hail? Yeah, it happened. Is it impossible? For you, yes. For me, no doubt. But for God, oh, it's possible. Because Jesus said, with people, this is impossible. With God, all things are possible. See, we probably will never know how God did what he did. Could he have made it just appear that the sun and moon stood still? Sure. But the result's just still the same. God answered Joshua's prayer with a miracle. And the end result was the endangered and beleaguered Gibeonites sent a message to Joshua. Come save us. In other words, Joshua, whose name means the Lord saves, did just that with the spectacular intervention of God. And it's a powerful illustration of how God used what was a bad move by Joshua to accomplish great things. As you're sitting in the summer sun, hopefully you're kicked back and you're relaxing in the light of the Son of God. And this story reminds you in a powerful way of just who he is, how big he is, and how he is without a doubt a God with no rival, no equal, who can do all and will do all to accomplish what he promised to do. Nothing like sitting in the sun. Nothing like being in the presence of God. And so, thanks for joining me on this limited edition series. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let us know. If you didn't, my name is Franklin Graham. And you can contact me at Billy Graham Ministries and just let me know you didn't like it. It's okay. And Franklin will read the letter and go, what are they talking about? But hopefully you found it enjoyable enough and intriguing enough that it'll keep you coming back. I look forward to joining you in our next limited edition series, whenever that might be. But until then, may God bless you.